Στην Αθήνα. Δουλεύουμε μαζί τα τελευταία 6 χρόνια. Έχουμε σπουδάσει και οι δύο στη Σχολή Καλών Τεχνών της Βενετίας, η οποία έχει αρκετή σχέση με τη Σχολή Αρχιτεκτονικής και επηρεάζει τη δουλειά τους η αρχιτεκτονική σκέψη. Και γι' αυτό έχουμε κάνει ένα project σε σχέση με το βιβλίο το οποίο θα κατασκευάσετε κατά κάποιο τρόπο σήμερα. Είναι η αφήγηση και ο τρόπος κυκλοφορίας του. Σας ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ που είναι εδώ. Η Kunsthalle φιλοξένησε αυτό το project και το βιβλίο έγινε σε παραγωγή με το στούντιο Lovatel στην Ιταλία. Welcome. You can start narrate the project.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for being here. Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me. And thank you for sharing these moments that we thought as important for the project we have been doing the last winter in Athens. We spent 3 months in Athens living in Proper Noun, and we did a research which now we narrated through this book. And the project is called Without a Proper Noun. It is this name. And it started in a not that clear way when we arrived here. We were interested in the city of Athens and in the aspect of what's going on in a urbanistic level and how we can live in the city. And we started from where we were living, where we ended up by chance. That was Kolonos. It was an area that we didn't know before, and we arrived there because of a series of coincidences. And we started looking at some places that we are calling green voids. Places that you can find all around Athens. That for us it was kind of new and very central type of space in Kolonos, which are the spaces where the buildings, former buildings, were demolished and the green takes place there regularly in time. And these were the places that in a way guided us through the area and in our everyday life.
Yeah, so actually we didn't know what to do precisely because we were more looking at these spaces and looking actually to a sort of like non-definition and indetermination of function, meaning, use, property, many terms that are conventionally used and were kind of missing recognition to the spaces. And so actually the point was how to share the question we had with the neighborhood. So we got in touch with a self-run cafe in the neighborhood, where we decided to, after participating in other kind of activities they were doing, like an evening for a seed exchange against the privatization of the seeds something that is happening around all the countries in that moment. So it was kind of a reality that was not neutral, and it was like kind of taking a position through the activity that were proposed, trying to evoke another kind of understanding of the space, of human relationships, of the city, and we found it might be interesting to share our question and our interest in what to do with these spaces together with that kind of people, of groups. So actually what we decided to do was to organize 3 meetings that are kind of the parallel of the 3 sections of the book that we then can explain more. And the first meeting was about understand what was the understanding of the other about the same spectrum places. So we were sharing some images we recorded, we took some questions, and a very intense and deep discussion came up. Some people that were there are here. So it's very kind of nice to see that it's a process that more than ending in a result, it has been a way to construct some relationships through a common interest. Many questions came up from the discussion, and the second step for us was to do a workshop to share and to share like a practice that is a method of seeding, an agricultural method, let's say, that derives from far away, like from a Japanese farmer, which it's very interesting the way he brings us to reflect about how plants are growing and how we are supposing to grow them, that it's not really so true. And he's finding ways to make a shift about the procedure to how do we intend to cultivate. And the method,
And which are the alternative to what we have done till now, or till that time, so the silent case. And he developed a proposal and also a practice through his life. And he wrote about it in a book that you will find some extract in the book. We decided to dedicate some space to this reference important for us in the book. And he developed this way way of seeding, which is through some seed clay balls. And we looked on this practice, on how to do it, and we involved the people in this workshop to do it with us and to also learn with us how to do this. And for us it was a way to understand this other way to connect or like act with the nature, and also like a proposal to make a small action, a minimal gesture towards these spaces that were like posing us a lot of questions and that we shared with all the people. So we made this workshop and we made all these seed clay balls. And on the 2 days after, we made another meeting. When the balls were dried, we brought all these balls in a wall through the area of Kolonos, and we made this kind of itinerary through the area from the cafeteria where we were meeting to one of the first places closer to our house where we were living, and we brought with us all these balls, and whenever we were like finding and approaching one of these spaces, we were looking at it and leaving these balls in the spaces, and this was like a kind of symbolical but also physical reconnection or connection towards these spaces with something that we are not sure of a result, of a clear end of what we were doing. It was more like trying to shift the observation or the perception towards these places that are we discovered in time during the research that these spaces are perceived as kind of void, as empty places, and since they don't have a proper definition, they are not even considered sometimes, or they are like treated as a kind of garbage place, or like places where to hide stuff that you don't need anymore. So yeah, all the process brought us and the people with us to think in another way and to act in another way towards these places, and in a way like listening to their own behavior, how they act in a way.
Yeah, maybe it's interesting to say also that while we were looking at the method of natural farming as something that was bringing together another practice but also another kind of philosophy, we discovered that a student of this Japanese farmer is founded a farm in Greece, in Edessa, that is working with this method, and that many activists and groups of people are dealing with the clay sequels in order to combat the deforestation of the Greek island and some mountains of Greece. So for us it was really also surprising to notice this kind of connection. There are many many universes behind the same thing. So yeah, I mean, I think the book is kind of connecting very different aspects, but that can work together and be used as a kind of, I don't know, inspired like something else, or you can find many different levels of understanding it. Maybe you can briefly explain about
section. Here on the table there are like all the pages of the book that is open. In this way you can see like how the pages in their wall look like, and we decided to split the book in 3 different sections, which are these 3 different colors. And one section, it's about this first approach that we had to the place and to these places specifically, and it's for us it's a kind of diary, and the section is called Keep a Diary, and the diary will keep you. And it's dedicated to this sort of observing the area where we were living through these green volumes. Then we have this pink section, which we call the kindred books. So, as we said before, it's about the books that were kind of inspiring us and accompanying us during the process and this time, and we think they kind of intensify like the reading that we propose with some text related to other contexts, but that are kindred, connected. And the other part, it's the green part, and it's called One Story is More Stories, and it's about some contributions that we had, and from some people that we got to know through all this process and all this time. And one text is from Elena Tzitzilaki, that's here with us tonight, and we are really thankful that she gave us our point of view through this wonderful text. And the other one, it's from
Nicolas Anastasopoulos.
Thank you. And it's also another contribution. He cannot be here with us tonight, but
yeah, I think it's interesting to say that the texts are similar but also very different, in the sense that one is focusing more about the social movements and activities related to the green voids of Athens, which are already taking place, and Eleni, through her experiences in a personal and subjective way, is kind of make us like travel around Athens and to discover these new scenarios of the city and this new kind of way to approach the space and to transform it. And the text of Nicolas is, let's say, more an attempt to offer some keywords towards the Athens urban landscape, which are focusing on discontinuities, mistakes and errors. These two words very similar but different etymology. And what else? Yeah, and also the reading he's doing from the fast development of the built space of Athens.
So they are also kind of tool that give another point of view and clarify the context, which for us it was kind of new, and we are coming from a different place, of course, and we have a perception that's a perception of someone that comes and like look through these places maybe more instinctively also, and their contributions are, I think, really important to give the context, give the point of view on the context in a wider and like also more experienced way.
Yeah, actually, it's like the project is taking place in that context, so it's
there are parallel experiences that go together. And now the fun part. And since the books are still open and unfinished, we would like to invite you with us to to put the book together and to close it. So every one of us will make her or his own copy, the assemblage of it, and the pages are on the table in this order. Yeah, and we can show you which is the easiest way to start. So this is the cover and the first page, and if you open it, you can take one, and this is like the starting point, the starting page where you can put all the other page one inside the other, and you will have like all like the series. You can be added by the number of the pages, but if you just go around the table and take one and put it one inside the other, it's easy. So yeah, you can start this, yeah,
and then after, I don't know, when everybody has the copy, she's complete, we can find a way to close it. We are not so well prepared for that.
I mean, you can choose with we have different strings, different colors here on the table, and you can choose which one you want. And there are some needles,
yeah,
right? And there are some holes, you will see. And so, yeah, I don't know who is the bravest one that wants to start, and then we can buy. And yeah, we have 50 copies, so closer.
Maybe we can read the little text about what is a book.
Yeah. One second.
I have here a little text that is kind of interesting because it's a way to answer the question, what is a book? And it says, a book has neither object nor subject. It is made of very formed matters and very different dates and speeds. To attribute the book to a subject is to overlook these workings of matters and the exteriority of their relations. In a book, as in all things, there are lines of articulation, segmentarity, strata and territories, but also line of light, movements of distratification and territorialization. All this produces phenomena of slowness and viscosity, or, on contrary, acceleration and rapture. All these lines and measurable speeds constitute an assemblage. A book is an assemblage of this kind, and as such is unattributable. It is a multiplicity. First, there is no difference between what a book talks about and how it is made. Therefore, a book has no object. As an assemblage, a book has only itself, in connection with other assemblages, and in the relation to other bodies. We will never ask what a book means, as signified or signifier. We will not look for anything to understand. We will ask what it functions with, in connection with what other things it does or does not transmit intensity. In which other multiplicity, its own multiplicities, are inserted and transformed, and with what bodies it makes its own converge. a book that exists only to the outside and on the outside. Yeah, maybe helping each other, like we show it's easier when you want to.
Yeah.
Can I record this?
Yeah.
About Kunsthalle No, it's just a Kunsthalle. Okay, so this reminds me of the club.
I'm not totally sure.
Γι' αυτό δεν παίρνει, έχω τρακ. Δεν κάποιος έφερε να πρέπει να φέρει τα γυαλιά του.
Anyone who needs that, please, we are without. And when you are finished, use the needle. Put it back on the table, please.
I want an English speaker.
See the bomb.
Thank you.
Hey, now pretty well done.
Δεν σου λέω, δεν θα εκφεύγω. Τότε αν το πάρω.
Έχετε τρελαθεί, δεν τρελαθεί, τι αγορά.
So ask him if he can do like a small bucket. He's kind of
Όχι, μου είπες.